Time is of the essence when a fire breaks out, and just imagine what a neighborhood would do when there is a shortage of firefighters. 2 million women and girls are released from prison each and every year. What a memorable night in New Jersey. Finally, after 15 months of masking up, New Jersey is able to move forward both indoors and outdoors without a face covering, unless you're a student.
None of the schools want to hear us.
Frustrated parents have been marching around the state advocating for their children to be unmasked in schools.
My kids should not have to sacrifice air for an education.
And so right now what we're asking is for the school board members to be brave.
Some argue that there is no evidence that the mask stops the spread of the virus.
I'm a nurse, and there's just no medical reasoning behind it. Masks are to protect you from getting blood spatter.
Governor Murphy argues that masks are needed because there are no authorized vaccines for children under 12, which is why some parents are more comfortable with their child wearing one.
I would prefer that he wore a mask to school and that his classmates did too, because they're too young to get vaccinated.
People are dying still. Yes.
But how did the children feel about wearing masks all day?
It gives me headaches, I get nausea, it makes me uncomfortable. It feels like I can't breathe a lot.
And as one superintendent said here on Jersey Matters,
there's been studies about CO2 for the elementary school kids. The reason why kids would feel very sluggish after lunch wasn't because they had gym, is that there was an elevated CO2 in the classroom.
Some superintendents, such as Dr. Parla Panitas, have reached out to Governor Murphy, asking him to please end the mask mandate for students. And the governor's response is, we are only in June. How should we predict what should happen by September 5th? So for now, we will wait for the governor's next directive. Reporting from Ocean Township for Jersey Matters, I'm Kimberly Kravitz. Deer are in full-blown mating season, and these sweet but dangerous four-legged creatures have a way of colliding into our vehicles while on their pursuit. And Hillsborough, the town that we're standing in, leads New Jersey in deer-related accidents.
Hillsborough Township, where we are right now, is the #1 township for deer collisions in 2017.
Gene Huntington is the lead consultant for Stewart Green, and each winter they study the population of deer through deer density data.
About 150 deer per square mile, which is way over the numbers that scientists and ecologists prefer to see.
So basically, the more deer we see, the more collisions we should expect. But it also presents a great challenge for our ecosystem.
If we don't have that kind of biodiversity out in the forest ecology, then we do not have the habitat that can sustain ground nesting birds. And those ground nesting birds eat ticks, and ticks cause Lyme disease.
AAA also collects data on animal-related collisions, and that number, too, seems to be rising each year.
Last year, we saw the greatest number of animal collisions, and overwhelmingly, they are deer.
So what time of year specifically should we be on the lookout?
Oh, it's a time of year that the numbers really increase, the rutting season, like October, November, December, when it's deer mating season.
Robert says that Monmouth County is the #1 county for deer and other animal crashes, but he was able to provide some advice for drivers.
Really, the best advice is to do nothing, because if you swerve to the right, you could go off the road, hit a tree or a pole. You swerve to the left, if you're on a country road like this, you could go into oncoming traffic, have a very serious crash. Even hitting the brakes hard is not recommended, because if you do hit the animal, that will promote the animal rolling up the hood and through the windshield.
And the rule of thumb:
I used to teach my kids when they'd go drive, if you see one deer, there could be more. And one of my kids said, yeah, if there's none, there could be some.
Mating deer are most active at dawn and dusk. And now with the sun going down much earlier, this makes for a significantly dangerous time to commute. Reporting from Hillsborough for New Jersey News Network, I'm Kimberly Kravitz.
If you were driving through Homedale last night or early this morning, you may have noticed the Bellworks building lit up in pink in honor of Vienna Savino, a toddler who died from sudden unexplained death in childhood in 2017. Be sure to download our mobile app for instant weather and news if you haven't already. For additional content, visit our website at njnn.tv. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Kimberly Kravitz.